Hello everyone, thanks for checking out my video. Today I'm going to demonstrate how I create the wood burning tips that I use to make my fish scales on my carvings. I learned the technique from a video made by Ed Walecki. He was a carver from Michigan who I met at the Great Lakes Fish Decoy Carving Championship in the early 2000s. Unfortunately, Ed passed away a few years later. Now, this technique is very similar to Ed's, but like everything, you change things up and make it your own. Here's what you're going to need to get started. You're going to need some nichrome wire, 14 gauge or smaller, depending on the size of your scale. You're going to need a hard surface to pound on. An anvil works great, or maybe your vise, but something hard to pound on. You're going to need a ball peen hammer, a couple of pairs of needle nose pliers, a wire cutter, a vise grips, and a carbon disc, a file, or a diamond disc. You're going to need something to shape the scale tip. I prefer the carbon disc as it works for me. Start by cutting a piece of wire about 2.5 inches long. Straighten it out and then sand the edges off to remove any sharp edges left by the wire cutter. Next, grab the piece of wire in the center and bend both sides down to form a U shape. This 14 gauge wire is pretty stiff, so I usually heat it up to make the bends. Now place the wire in your vise grip. It's time to hammer out the U shape, flattening the corners and drawing out the metal. Start by removing material in the center, matching it against your references. Now that you've got your scale shaped, it's time to start removing material from the sides. Try to remove equal amounts from both sides, so when you heat the tip up, it heats up evenly. Here's where you're going to put the curve in the tip. You need this curve so it gives your scale depth when you burn it in. Well, you've made it through all the steps, and now it's time to check your work. I like to use a kind of a curved surface to mimic the sides of a fish. So we'll see what we've come up with here. Now, in order for this to work properly, you have to press and pull back. Press and pull back. That way you'll get the depth to the scale. Let's see what we come up with. You'll have to figure out where the best touchdown point is and try and keep that consistent. So we'll start, press and pull back. Press and pull back. Press and pull back. I've been making these scales for over 20 years, and trust me, you're gonna have failures. I know I still do. But don't get discouraged, because these tips will give your carving a unique and natural look. Like Ed said, it prevents that cookie cutter appearance. Well, that'll do her for this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. Thanks for stopping by. Until next time, have a good day.